So what's the secret of this show?
It's a family of cops, and I think once we identified as a writing team and as a cast and as a team, once we all sort of identified that and got on the same page, and Tom Selleck's been a big proponent of this, is once we locked in on the fact that it's a family of cops, not a cop family, not cops who happen to be in a family, but it's family first. I think once we zeroed in on that, that's when the show sort of really started to hit its stride. And because these major events do happen, and they do have a ripple effect, and they do affect every single person in the family. And something that my character does on the job that's a controversial choice or a dangerous choice, it affects his wife, it affects his kids, it affects his sister and his dad. And his dad's not only his boss, it's his dad. The ripple effects are profound throughout the Reagan family. And if we don't explore that, we're sort of doing a disservice, and we're just being like every other cop show.
You've played a lot of cops.
Yeah.
What makes Frank Reagan so different?
Well, he's the boss.
Okay.
I mean, he is the boss, so it's a different way of portraying a cop in the sense that being in command, he can't show his fellow police officers and the people he commands a lot of anxiety, but the audience has to get that he's under a lot of pressure and worries and all sorts of things. So it's a different acting challenge. It's really a nice one for me because it's pretty tricky. He can't show his people that he's worried.
He's worried in the episode The Job that we're seeing tonight at the
Yeah,
TV Academy.
yeah.
He cracks in there. We see a side of
Yeah.
Frank we don't normally see, don't we?
Well, it's about, everybody, it's one of those moments, where were you on 9/11? Well, the audience is probably wondering, well, Frank's been a cop for a long time, where was he on 9/11? What the show answers in an almost mystery form is where he was, what he was doing, what haunts him, and what the police and fire department are still dealing with, the legacy of that day. And I don't like to spoil it for people who didn't see it because they'll see it sooner or later, but I thought it was a very moving episode. Frank does crack a little bit because a friend of his, they both survived, and they were both in the North Tower when the South Tower came down, but he got sick and Frank didn't, and that bothers him.